everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Hyla and this is H. Cooper Crafty Bug. It is mom season, so we are doing mom tutorials and mom videos. You guys can see what I'm working on and how I'm doing it, and I'm trying to share as much as I can during this very busy season. So I hope you appreciate all these videos and tutorials and lives, and I hope you will join on lives and participate with us. I hope you enjoy the video that I'm about to show you. Don't forget to subscribe and to click that bell so you will receive notifications on all my uploads, live streams, and premieres. And I hope you have a wonderful mom season. Happy mom making, happy crafting. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be kind in the comments and in the chats, please. And I hope you will join in and have a good time. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all on the next one. Enjoy this video.
In this video, I am working on a tiny Peewee garter with custom cutouts. So I am cutting my ribbon streamers at 12 inches in length. This is a little bit smaller than my mini and regular Peewees because I want 12 inches showing on those, so I usually cut those around 13 to 14, depends on, and then if I taper them on the sides like I do this design, you can cut them even shorter for the ones that are going to be on the sides, but it just depends on how you want it. So if you want it evenly across, or if you want to kind of taper them off a little bit, you can cut them a little bit shorter. So 12 inches, and then some of that's going to be on the backer, so you're going to have 10, 11 inches showing. And I'm cutting several different kinds of ribbons. This is for a senior boy, so it's not for a little kid. I get a lot of high school students that want these smaller mums too. So I'm cutting luster ribbons. There's a metallics, there's sparkling, honeycomb. Can't remember if I cut any others. I'll show that if I do. Here is the garter. So I'm using ribbon spool ends for my backers, and I'm just going to glue that on there first. And I always make sure that I glue the seam on the inside of the mum, because I don't want them to wear the seam part, because that's going to be uncomfortable. And then I'm going to also add several staples. Make sure it's nice and secure. I will be using a 4-inch flower on this one. Sometimes I go as small as 3-inch on these tinies. It just kind of depends on each mum and how old they are, and how small we're going, because I can go even smaller than this. So I kind of take it a case per case, and they'll get at least one braid, up to usually 3 braids. Again, it just depends. I make them all different. They did want lots of stickers, so I wanted those stickers to be showing, so I didn't really need to cover up anything with braids. Now that is nice and secure. And I'll just set that to the side until I'm ready to use it. You could attach your ribbon streamers to that piece if you wanted to, or you can do a fresh one. It just depends on what's easier for you. And then I always like to trim up my ends and make them nice and neat. Some people like to cut them straight across. You can cut a V shape. A lot of times on these mums for guys, I'll just cut like an angle like that. I'm just going to set the ribbons down on the backer and kind of get an idea of how I want to attach the ribbons, how I want to layer them, in what order I want to put them in. It just gives me an idea before I start attaching. It's not going to show exactly how they end up, but it just gives me an idea in my head, so I can picture it, and then I know how to attach them. And I am going to layer several ribbons. Not lots of layers, but I'm going to layer them, overlap them on top of each other. So I am going to end up with several several ribbons on there. Burgundy, black, silver, white are the colors. And this is that sparkling ribbon. I think it's like a 1/2 inch wide, if I remember correctly. And it likes to curl, so it is a little bit of a fight. And I have to remember when I'm laying the ribbons out that I'm going to be adding a lot of stickers. So I need those acetate or luster ribbons to show. I need some that are going to be able to have the stickers on them. So those need to be shown and not hidden. Now you can add stickers to some of these silver ribbons as well. Sparkling has kind of a weird texture, so you'd want to be careful. They might come off easier. Of course, you can't do it on top of honeycomb because I mean, you could, I guess, but it just doesn't sound like it would look that great. And then all those holes, I don't know how well it would stay on. There's that metallic ribbon or foil ribbon. I can't remember what it's called. But it shows fingerprints really bad, I can tell you that. Might want to have a microfiber cloth to clean them off. That's what I did, like once I was done messing with them. And they're very thin too. I do like the way they look though on them, especially on guys. To me, it's like adding some sparkle or whatever, but in a way that's not girly. Kind of reminds me of chrome, so you know, guys usually go for that kind of stuff. And I'm just thinking about all the stickers that I have to put on. I've got both of their names, the school mascot. I can't remember what else. I can't remember if I put homecoming and all that on there too. And we're doing several cutouts on it. So they did some add-ons with the cutouts. I actually did the girls' mum already before this one. It was a 24-inch, and I am going to show that at the end. So when I went to design the stickers, I didn't have to redesign the stickers. I just saved them again and then had to resize them a little bit. Because I like to keep, when I make stickers or cutouts for somebody, I like to keep that, save it, even after they've got the mum, because in case something happens and they need me to cut, I need to cut more stickers for them or something, I've got them the exact same size. Otherwise, they would be completely different. I wouldn't be able to match them up. So I always save that stuff. And since I was reusing the stickers, I just did in Design Space, I just did the save as. So I had both of them saved, hers saved and his saved. And I'm actually going to show how I show that part too. I'm going to screen record and show that. And so I'm trying to, you know, I'm thinking about the stickers and what all is going to be on there, and so how I want to layer them. That's why I'm making it so complicated. You can't just throw the ribbons on there and then decide, okay, where do I have room? I need to think about it in advance because all that stuff was very important to them. And I'm holding it up. That way I know exactly how the ribbons are going to fall, because I can have it laying on the table and overlap the ribbons and it look all nice and neat and perfect. But when you hold it up, it's going to look different. The ribbons are going to fall and lay differently. So I don't want any gaps between the ribbons. That's how I make it look nice and full, even if it's just got one layer of ribbons, because I overlap them. But I also hold it up when I'm attaching it to make sure that they all lay where I want them to. I make sure they overlap enough where there's no gaps, but they're not overlapping so much that you can't see each ribbon. Then of course the luster acetates, I need them to show because I need to put stickers on those. So I need to make sure that they're not getting covered up. So it is a lot more complex than what people think making these mums, because I have to think about all that stuff that I'm putting on there and how it, how it's going to be on there, how it's going to be shown, and so it is a lot more complicated than what people would think, honestly. I think because it's a small mum, it's not going to take very long. Just throw some stickers on there. And on the cutouts, they did a cutout on the flower, and it was the same cutout that we did on her flower. So again, I was able to save as in design space, but just make it a different size, because like I said, hers was a 24-inch full-size mum. So she had either a 6.5 or 7.5 inch flower. I don't remember. I do either one of those on that size. So hers was much bigger. His again was a 4-inch flower, so got to make it much smaller. Also, I find, doing like school logos and stuff on these small mums much more difficult because they are so much smaller. It's going to be tinier pieces on a lot of these designs. So those are definitely more difficult than the bigger mums. And I was really happy with how all the ribbons turned out, how they were layered, and how I had them kind of stacked. And what am I trying to say? No, I forgot the word I'm trying to say. How they tapered off at the ends. I didn't taper them a whole lot, if I remember correctly, but just a little bit. So I'm putting that burgundy honeycomb over the silver metallic, so you can see both of those coming through. And that is Connie's favorite ribbon. If you guys don't know, if you send her a Christmas present, please send her a roll of honeycomb ribbon in every single color, because she loves it so much. I am kidding. Those of you that watch Connie know her, and she does not like that. There, I'm showing you there's a gap right there. You don't want that. You don't want a gap like that. That's going to look messy. Nope. Don't do that. If that's, I'm leaving that gap there because I'm going to put the acetate in the middle, and that's where I'm going to put their names. But if you were just layering the ribbons and still attaching, going further out, you wouldn't want to make sure that there were no gaps. But a lot of times when I'm doing these types of mums, and like hair bow mums and such, and wrist mums, the name and like the school logo usually, or not logo, the mascot is usually the two things that they really want on there. And so I will attach those ribbons last and on top to make sure that they stand out. So that's the premise. That's what I'm using here. I'm putting those acetate or luster ribbons on top to make sure they don't get covered up at all. And then sometimes I'll come around the back and attach some ribbons around the back if I feel like it needs more, or it either needs more on the sides, but from the angle it will cover up the ribbons, and in a way that I don't want them to cover up at the top. So I will come around the back and attach them from the back and on the side, so it just you just see that color come out just a little bit. And that's what I'm doing here. So I'll do that quite a bit too. You don't have to just keep attaching on the front. You can attach on the back as well. Just however you need to do it. And then if you find that you have some gaps and you don't want to attach any more ribbons on the front because you're going to cover up, you know, this design or whatever you're doing, go from the back. Attach some more from the back side. And that goes for any size mum. If you realize it doesn't look as full as you wanted it to, just go around the back with some plain ribbons and fill it up. Once you get all the backers on there, nobody's going to know that you went on from the back, and it's not like it matters anyway. I mean, who cares if you attach some on the back? Do whatever it takes to make it look nice. There's really no right or wrong reason, or right or wrong way to make a mum, in my opinion. I say do what works for you. Learn from other people and then just kind of make it your own. I'm going to put that silver right behind there as well. Again, that was the silver sparkling. Just kind of a metallic, but it's like a dull metallic, and then it also catches like different colors in it as well. So I really like that sparkling, and it's one that's not expensive either. So just want it showing just a little bit behind there. I thought I tapered those a little bit more, but I guess I didn't. Now you see where it's laying down, you can see some gaps, but when I'm holding it up, it's perfectly overlapped the way I wanted it to. And since a mum is going to be worn in the upright position, that's how you need to be concerned with how the ribbons lay, not how they lay flat on the table. So I was happy with that, with the different textures and stuff. Now I can attach the garter on there. Again with the hot glue. I don't know why I put it in the middle. There's a hole there, so. Silly, but that's okay. You're also going to want to staple that really well. Hot glue. I really like to press them together good so they I forgot the hot glue in there. So I don't like there to be gaps between my backers. I want them pressed as close together as tightly as possible. Make sure you staple where that garter is too. Really want to make sure it's nice and secure. Now you can cut the garter in half and attach it on the backer that way too. Especially if they have a big arm, you can spread it out a little bit further and get more room out of it. And then again, if their arm is very small, you can trim it off so it's smaller, not so big. Nice and secure. Alright, so I've already cut out the names and some footballs and some paw prints, just like on hers. Like I said, I used the same stickers, the same fonts and everything, the same design for his stickers. I just had to readjust the size a little bit, and I am going to show you again after I do all this. I'll show you how I did that on Design Space. I actually show you both of theirs because I couldn't remember which one was hers and which one was his. You can do their names. You can do them going down, you know, where the words are vertical, or you can do it where the letters are vertical or the letters are horizontal. If you do it horizontal, you can just use transfer tape and do the name all at once, or you can take each one and attach each letter individually. A lot of times for me, it depends on how much room I'm working with, and since especially her name is longer, it's going to have to be attached horizontally, I guess is the way you want to say it. And it's going to be easier if I can just work with the ribbon and not fight all the ribbons. Now you can go ahead and do the ribbons, put their stickers on, and then put it on the mum, whichever works better for you. So I make the letters as wide as I can go, where you see just a hair of ribbon on either side of the letters. So I want the words as big as possible. And then I got those little footballs and paw prints to put on there. I can only do so many words on a small mum too. Sometimes people will send me all kinds of things that they want on the mum, and I'm like, okay, this is a tiny mum. There's only so many ribbons. And half of what you're wanting won't even be seen because there's just no way to do it. So I do have it listed. Oops. Yeah. You see me? I was like, the E. I have it listed in the listing that they only get so many words, but people don't always read all that. So it's usually a name, the mascot, maybe the mascot in town, and then like homecoming in the year, and that's the max. And some of these they want more than one name, which is fine. I did use 2 different fonts, you know, one for hers and one for his. I like to use different fonts for their names. I think it makes them stand out and pop a little bit more as well. And I'm not attaching them too far up because, you know, the flower and the backer, the mum head is going to take up some room, and so I want to make sure their names don't get covered up. So I'd rather them be further down. Just making sure all those are on there good. That is Cricut Smart Vinyl that I'm using. It's like a silver metallic. I didn't leave quite enough room for that, I don't think. Footballs and the paw prints are just on Cricut Design Space. They're not free designs. They're the ones you have to have if you pay $10 a month. Let's see, those ribbons show just a little bit, so you can do stickers on those. And the other ones that I'm showing you, you can do stickers on those as well. You'd want to do much smaller ribbon or smaller stickers, smaller words, so they'd be seen more. They are going to get covered up a little bit. And that's the that's the inside of the paw prints. Some of those are a pain. They don't want to come off. So just do some paw prints right there. I was thinking I did the school name too, but I may just be thinking of her mom. I can't remember. It has been a minute since I made this mom. So you can see those, and that just adds a little something. Plus, as he's wearing it, moving around, those ribbons are going to move, and so you'll see more of them. People really like when I do all these stickers on the mom too, you know, like the footballs and the different sports and stuff like that, but can't do every hobby or every sport. There's just not, it's got to be simple designs, and people don't always understand that. Very happy with that. And I like all the metallics because, like I said, it's for a guy. I believe he's a junior this year. Okay, I did do a Vernon Lyons. I thought I did. I'm just going to add more ribbons to do it. And again, this was on her mom as well, so I used the same images, the same font and everything. I just made sure to save it twice so I could adjust his to different sizes and then still keep hers in case I needed to recut hers for any reason. I don't press them, I try not to press them on there real well at first, because that way I can make sure that I've got them just exactly where I want them, or they're straight and even. And so if I need to pick them up and kind of move them around, it's not difficult to do if you just barely put them on there. And then once you know that they're where you want them, then you can press it down really well. Now the Vernon Lyons stickers that I did, I think they ended up being way too big for the mom, for those ribbons. Trying to do the paw, and it's too wide. All that for nothing. If I remember right, this is a 7/8, so it was a very thin ribbon to be putting stickers on. It's not impossible to put stickers on those, but it's not going to cover up all those ribbons that I had already attached. And then these words are going to be smaller thinner than the names. This was one of those cases where I made the girl's mom, the other mom saw her daughter's mom, what was going to be her daughter's mom, and asked the other mom, the original mom, if she could ask me if I could make the matching garter. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm going to use the inside of them. I think that's what I'm trying to do. Since that part, yeah, that part's too wide. But the insides are not, so. And that's perfect. And it needed a little paw print up there. And I had just enough paws. Those little boogers can be a pain. Here we go. Perfect. And then I ended up attaching them up a little higher since I didn't have stickers going all the way down the ribbon. So I could have cut them shorter than what I did, but I wasn't originally planning on attaching them like that. But I really like the outcome. Very cute. Super happy with that. I think I attached this in that center. I can't remember. This is the school logo, but I did it as like a silhouette. So they had a pretty simple school logo. Trying to find somewhere to put it. I needed to make it just a little bit smaller. And that works, so that worked out. always see those dogs behind me when I'm working. See, that turned out good. And I need to use those paws as well because I cut those out. I like to do lots of stickers if I can. Kind of spruces up those plain colored ribbons. Even if there's going to be a braid there, you can still see it behind there. Alright, now I'm going to make a whip braid. So I'm taking one piece of ribbon and folding it in half. And then I'm going to double it. I just like it thicker, so I'm going to double it. Stack those on top of each other. Like I said, fold it in half, and then you fold those right there where you folded it in half and make like a point or an arrow. And the same with the burgundy. Now when you do white, you always want to double up the white because where the white is overlaps the darker color, it's going to look more grayish. So definitely double that up. It will make it thicker as well. You can double up both colors if you want to, if you find it difficult to braid. But on the whip braid, you do not have to double ribbons. Only the shiny side is seen, but I do recommend if you're doing like white or any really light and really dark color combo. So this, I paused that so you guys could see how to start the whip braid. I do have lots of whip braid tutorials, and I have 2 or 3 different ways of making the whip braid. This is the most recent way that I learned from Connie, and I think it's easier. Everybody's different. I think it's a little less time consuming, so. And I did slow this down so you can see how I'm braiding it. It's very easy. Once you get it, you'll realize how easy it is for those of you that still struggle with this one. Now I'm going to pull all those, make it snug. Just want to make sure you're getting that diamond pattern. Now there is another way to do it where you get like a candy stripe, I call it a candy cane stripe. And it kind of goes down like at a spiral. It's another way to make braids look different if you're doing multiple mums in one school. You're limited on how you can do, I mean, it's just a way to change it up and make them look different, but also if you're worried about your mums looking too much alike, you know, just change up the design of the braids. So like a victory braid has like a diamond pattern, but there's another way to do it where it's like a candy cane stripe too. So you get like different patterns, so that's going to change up the looks of the mums. And I have videos for all of those. I'm going to pull on the ribbons and then kind of stretch the top of the braid if it's not pulling tight. And again, I just need to make sure it's about 12 inches, enough to attach to the backer and hang down fully. And this is where I'm going to attach all those smaller custom cutouts that I'm making for them. Once you get it all pulled snug, you're just going to put a staple there at the bottom. And that's it. Super easy. Once you get it, you'll realize it's super, super easy. And I'm just going to attach that right there. Make sure it hangs in the middle. Now the whip braids are pretty stiff, so they'll kind of stick out a little bit, which can look kind of funny, but I really do like whip braids, so I do them a lot. Plus they're really easy for me to make now, so. And I'll try to throw up the measurements I used up here on the screen. I know I have measurements for the whip braid, so. Alright, so here I am on Design Space. That is how the sizes. I'm going to click on the words or the name so you can see the sizes. And that's the font I used. Is that showing the font? I can't see it very well. And I'm pretty sure this one was hers. You see it says Ashley 1. I'm pretty sure this ended up being hers, not his. I can't remember. Now for some reason it's not letting me click on his and look at the font. There's the size I used for that. I'm clicking on everything so you can see sizes. I think I said it already. I'll show pictures or videos at the end of the video of this tutorial so you can see her mum as well. I did not record her mum. I don't know that I think I showed a little bit, worked on it some during a live, at least one live. That's going to be way back, so you'd have to go through my lives. So that's the font that I used for his, and then I offset it a little bit to make it thicker. Oops, messed that up. I forgot to push the green button. So I'm trying to match that up, see if I can match it up. I don't think I can match it up exactly, but I get pretty close. Make it a little bit shorter. I have 3 different like sports type fonts that I use. That one was the yearbook one, if I remember correctly. It's hard for me. I can't see very well on my editing app what I'm seeing, what you guys are seeing now. It's on such a small window that it's hard for me to see what I'm clicking on and stuff. But I do have, I know Cricut has one, and I don't remember which one it's called, but I'll use that one too. And then I have 2 that I purchased. They're all just slightly different. Excuse me. I hope nobody yawned from that. I'm matching that up in size as much as I can to kind of show you how I did that. Because I do like to make them a little bit thicker, especially for stickers. I just feel like they stand out better. But you can leave them alone and just use how they are. See, that's pretty stinking close. So that was the offset. Alright, so that's the cutouts that I made on his, and that's the sizes I used. So again, this is a small mum, so I'm not making those very big. We're talking about 10 inches of whip braid showing, so you can't make those cutouts very big. So a paw print, a football, and then the fishing pole. So it was important to them that we get his hobby of fishing on there, so I found that cute little fishing pole. And then of course their logo on the flower. And that's what size I made his. And I did share this logo publicly on my profile if anybody else has this school. I think you can access it. I know some people tell me they can, some people say they can't, so I don't know. I'm just showing you about the size of the offset I used on it. It's the same football and paw print that I used for the stickers. You can tell those are pretty much the same, so that's the offset I used to get that look. See, if you do save as, you can have two different ones. So there's his finished. I was really happy with it. I thought it turned out super cute. There's all his, you can see some of the trinkets and bells that I put on there. Plenty of football stuff. And then I did twisted loops for the backer, which I like those a lot for garter mums as well. You'll see me do those a lot with garter mums. I just really like the looks of it. I was really happy with this tiny Peewee garter. I thought it turned out really well. And here's hers. So they wanted it, it's a 24-inch, but she wanted it thinner. She said the girl is pretty tiny, very slim, so she didn't want it really wide, so I toned it down and made it slimmer. And then I also added the paw print with the heart with the school logo. Thought it turned out really, really cute. And she got the same whip braid, and then she's got the same font for the names again. I really like the way I did the loops too, going in and out pretty dramatically, so I thought that looked really, really cute. She saw one of my mums from several years ago, I would say like between 2017 and 2019, and she really loved it. It was burgundy, and she loved the design of it. So I did some similar things with it, and she wanted one of the tubing chains. I hadn't made one of those in forever, but she really wanted one of those. So as you can see on their names, I did it all on a loop chain, but I did his on the black ribbons and hers on the burgundy. But inside her loops are black, and inside his loops are burgundy. So I did double up the ribbons to make them nice and thick, but also it gives that really neat, you know, you're looking from the side, you can see two different colors, so I really like that. Then a Mobius, and I used that paw print ribbon, which I thought turned out really cute. I layered several ribbons on that Mobius. There's pretty ribbons and bling back there. A pretty bow, a zigzag braid. And she's a senior. He was not a senior, so she got senior stuff too. The senior cutout with the paw prints. And see, there's the Vernon lions, just like on his, so there's a lot of similarities in their mums. Senior trinket with some bling. Homecoming. There's the heart chain. A bell with a senior cap. And then the homecoming with the football in the middle. And that was something else she saw. She saw a mum from, was it last year that I did, a senior mum, white and silver, where I think I did their names with a football in the middle of their names going down a braid like that. And she really liked that. So she wanted the homecoming 2023 like that. I thought it turned out really pretty. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Catch you on the next one. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Happy mum making.